Bonjour mes amis, et bienvenue au Pendu dans le Cercle de Lune. Hello friends, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you certainly know from my attempt at a French introduction to this video that this is my series in which I use Tarot de Marseille adjacent, or antique Italian decks to help me answer questions that spring from my larger weekly, usually either Rider-Waite-Smith or a Continental Tarot based tarot spread. And for the last 2 months or so, I've been using a spread based on the Tree of Life. And it is very complex, it's very dynamic, it has a lot of interactions and associations, and I take 2 videos to read that one spread. So having a concise message pulled from that larger spread, or having these decks, having a Tarot de Marseille adjacent, or antique Italian deck, give us a concise message from that larger spread is very helpful. So that's what I'm doing here. And in case you have not seen the full video, the full spread, I'll put a card up here because I suggest going to see that first. See part 1, watch part 2, and then come back here so you have the context from which the answer to my question has arisen from. And just in case you have seen both of those videos and you want a little bit of a refresher, let me just remind you. Now, the title to the videos was Meditative Humility is the Gateway to Revelation. And that's because the spread began with a very strong and clear emphasis on the importance of meditation. And so we started off with that, and then we worked our way through the tree, and at the end of the tree in Malkuth, where we have the manifestation of the energies and the powers that are moving into our experience, we had Jupiter, which is what? Abundance and wealth and power and good luck and our ability to exist in fullness in the physical universe. And so there were reasons that were suggested for why meditation is important for us. There were some indications that meditation might be a little bit unnerving or unsettling, but that unsettled feeling is beneficial. And then we moved through to discovering our power and ended up in Jupiter. That's what I remember from this week's larger spread. And then we read the mother pillar, the father pillar. It's a very complex spread, right? So what am I going to do now? I asked the Tarot, as I always do, or have always done for the past 2 and some odd weeks, months, 2 months and some odd weeks, is what is the central message from this week's Tree of Life spread? That's the question. So in just a moment, I'm going to show you that question so you get it drilled into your brain, and then I'll show you the response from the tarot deck that I used, and then we'll talk about it. Okay? Here it is. What did you think of that deck? I'm curious. Do you like the muted, kind of dirty look to it, or do you think it is too muted and too dirty for you? Personally, I like the deck. I love the deck. This is a facsimile of a deck called the Kirchner Besançon, and it was produced by Deviant Moon. And if you're interested in this deck, there will be a link in the description box below for you to hop over and take a look at this deck or any of the other facsimiles. They've got other facsimiles of other decks there as well. They also have the Deviant Moon. They also have the Triomphe de la Luna. There are many beautiful decks there, and I've got a lot of their decks, just saying. So there's a link down there in the description box. And I like the deck for several reasons. I like the antique look of the background paper. I like the backs are sublime. You know, they're a very simple, but they look aged. They look tea-stained or coffee-stained. It's just a lovely, lovely production. And so I like the deck, and the cardstock is also wonderful. It's a semi-gloss, kind of waxy feel to the surface, but it shuffles beautifully. There's wonderful flex to the cardstock. It's just a great deck to use. So, deck is great for me. I hope it looks good to you too. And you saw that we had from left to right, the 5 of Wands, the 2 of Coins, and then the 6 of Swords. There weren't any people, so there were only 3 cards. I had no indications that I needed to add a card to one side or the other because people were facing outside of the spread. Yeah? And there are no personages here at all. They're all pips. They're all small cards. And you also notice that there's no clear indication that the numbers are going up or down in either direction. Now we went from 6 to 2 from 5 to 2 to 6. Now there wasn't like 5, 7, 9 or 5, 4, 1, 2. Yeah? There's no indication that the spread needs to be read in one way or the other. So, because of all of that, long story interminable, I'm just going to read this spread from left to right the way it was laid out. It seems the most logical way. So the question was, what is the central message from this week's Tree of Life spread? And we start with the 5 of Wands. And the 5 of Wands, let me show it to you here. Beautiful card in all of its aged glory. The 5 of Wands for me, 5s are breakouts from the 4s. Now the 4s of stability are wonderful, but then they can feel confining and rigid, and so 5s are bursting forth out of that box. So there's a playfulness here, there's an exploration, there's experimentation here because it's a Wands card, right? Creative risks, maybe, creativity of the Fire of Wands, and taking risks with doing stuff that we're not used to doing. And new desires, that could be sexual desires, could be creative desires, the desire of libido, whatever that means to you. The energy to go beyond what is known is also indicated here. Now that box of the 4, we're going beyond that. And evolution, not evolution towards unexpected depths or heights or larger dimensions. Yeah, we're ready to expand, we're ready to explore, we're ready to burst forth and see what's up there or down there, right? Creatively, sexually perhaps, with inspiration. This is an inspired action, it's inspired activity. And it's beautiful. And you see the flore, the leaves on the sides of this 5, they're full of life. So there's a lot of life in this 5, in this breakout and breakthrough. And there's a passionate breakthrough as well. And that leads us into the 2 of Coins. And what is the 2 of Coins? The 2 of Coins can be several things. And it's interesting because on this deck, we don't get any indication of the publisher in this 2 of Coins. Now, most 2 of Coins cards have the name of the publisher and the date here on that band around the 2 coins, but we don't have that here. It's a very lovely Swiss kind of looking 2 of Coins. And it can mean several things to different people. It could be taking a rest, taking a break. It could be allowing ourselves to replenish our physical resources. It could be bodily or financially. Taking care of our health, watching out for our health, saving money could be indicated here. But it's also a duality, right? The duality of that embryo of the ones has split into 2, like the zygote splitting in the womb of a mother, right? Now it's 2 cells, and there's a duality there, but it's embryonic. It's still not developed into anything substantial. There's a desire here to marry or form a partnership possible as well. Yeah? We see the band joining these 2 individual things, whatever that partnership might be. People, not ideas so much, but people, projects, homes, whatever. The joining of things, to marry things in a partnership. It could be a collaboration too, right? while keeping a distance. This collaboration, there's something that comes between them a little bit. They're not actually smashed up together yet, right? And we can also see this band as a winding road, that whatever we're doing is going to take some time before it reaches the 3, where things actually start splitting up and becoming a multiplicity of whatever that ace was. So we've got those ideas of duality, things beginning to process but not having stability, not having that real burst of growth yet. It's just that first splitting into a duality, into binary, into this and that, with a little bit of separation and maybe taking a little bit of time. Which leads us into the 6 of coins. I'm sorry, not the 6 of coins, the 6 of swords. Beautiful card. Love that flower in the center. It's a large flower, right? There's room in there. So what is this? 6s are beauty. 6s are our heart, the heart of the matter, the heart of beauty. So, but this is a mind suit, right? So, intellectual appreciation, the beauty of thought, the beauty of our communication as well. Reflection, looking back, looking within, giving ourselves space to grow within, like this flower. The pleasure of thinking, enjoying the thoughts that we have, the beauty of ideas, recognizing the beauty of the thoughts that we have, the thoughts that we hear, our ability to communicate, the beauty of our thoughts. But there's also a little bit of playfulness here, not the exciting playfulness of a 5 that might be the 5 of swords, but rather the gentle playfulness of enjoying the beauty of things, right? Loving what we say, loving what we hear, loving what we think, loving what others think. The mind becomes positive and knows its own finesse, its own ability to be, to dance around the thoughts and ideas and communications and knowledge that we not possess, but we experience. Yeah? And yet, there is the potential for solitude here. And the mind in solitude here can assume its individuality. There's space. We have boundaries between the perceived us and the perceived others. And that isolation can give us the space to discover the truth of who we are. And I think all of those combined are useful ideas for unpacking the larger tree of life spread. But how do these 3 things interact? That's the question. And like I said, I wanted to read these from left to right. But then that band in the center, the duality, the bringing together of 2 different things, not completely together yet, but the bringing together of 2 different things being at the center of this spread. Taking a rest, replenishing body. But what if it weren't just body? What if here, in this taking of a rest, we join the 6 of swords and the 5 of wands? What if this 2 of coin here, the desire to marry or form a partnership, is not necessarily a partnership between me and you, although that is also indicated, but is also a partnership between the contents of the 5 of wands and the 6 of swords? So we join the appreciation of mind, of thought, but it's not the mind and thought, the enjoyment of that in community, like the 7 of swords would be for me. There's also a space for the individual to reflect, to appreciate, to to grow, to fulfill self here in a space, contemplating, reflecting. And that's joined with a very active thing of playfulness and experimentation and passion. Those two together, joined, give us the beginnings of our path to manifesting the lives that we want to have in the Two of Coins. Now, it's the beginning of the path, right? We haven't fulfilled anything yet. And we see that that path is a little bit long. Because when we remember the Tree of Life spread that we looked at from this week is not giving us an instant manifestation. It's giving us a path for energy to move into our lives until it is finally manifested in the 10. And the beginning of the spread indicated something that's not quick, but something that is slow. Meditation, reflection, turning within, observing the silence, observing the space that might be unsettling because we're not used to just delving that deeply. That's not something that's going to usually happen for most people instantaneously. There's a journey there. And that journey is indicated here in the Two of Coins, I believe. Does that make sense? Do you meditate? Are you a meditator? If you are, does that resonate with you? If you are not, why not? I'm not putting you on the spot, but really, why not? Have you been told by somebody that meditation is a hard thing or a difficult thing or is not appropriate for you on your spiritual path? Is that a reason? Or have you been told, or have you thought or tried to meditate and thought, no, this isn't for me? Do you know that there are countless kinds of meditation, and that there is really one there that is going to be helpful for you? There is a style of meditation that matches you perfectly, and if you haven't found it yet, that's okay. It's there. If you want help finding it, reach out. I can help you. Other people can help you as well. But meditation is such a beautiful and important tool, I believe, for all of us who understand the importance of the spiritual aspects of life. And so this spread, I think, is pointing to that meditation and reminding us that that meditation is not inactive. A meditation practice that becomes inactive and stuck in either the sense that it only happens when you're on your meditation couch, if that's where you meditate, your meditation cushion on the floor when you're seated, if that's the kind of meditation that you do, if that's the only place that meditation is effective and effective, that's not what this spread is saying. No. If it feels like your meditation practice has become stagnant and fixed, this spread is saying no. This meditation practice is a practice of playfulness, of experimentation, of creative risks, of new desires, of activating self. Not only when we're doing the practice, but in the fullness of our lives. Because the benefit of opening ourselves to meditation, just like the Two of Coins and that winding path, is for us to be able to open ourselves to having fuller access to the powerful current of intention, which is is almost never a beeline from this place to, well, why do we call it a beeline? No bee that I have ever seen has flown directly from one flower back to the hive in a direct line. Yeah? Bees are notorious for moving in winding paths, right? which is wonderful. And that's the kind of beeline path that the course of our current of intention is taking us in. It's not a direct, it's not a straight line. It's a line, it's a current that flows and moves and winds in and out and goes up and down and is full of action and activity and variation and variance, like the Two of Coins, that ribbon on the Two of Coins, joining both our reflection and our passion, moving us forward with the powerful current of intention. And joined together as such, that seems to be the concise message from this week's tarot, Larger's tarot spread, the Tree of Life spread. Does that make sense? I'd love to hear, what do you think? Does that seem like a really concise nugget response? I think it does. So if it sounds like that to you, let me know in the comments below. If you meditate, tell me about it in the comments below. What kind of meditation do you do? Personally, I'm generally mostly either a no-mind or a metta meditator, but I've done other practices. I've taught other practices to university students. I love walking meditation when I have the liberty to do that. That's a wonderful thing. What kind of meditation do you do? Let me know in the comments below. Do you incorporate mindfulness practice in other aspects of your life, in cleaning your house, for example, doing the work, traveling? Those are also wonderful practices. Also, if this did not make sense, or if you don't meditate and you want help, let me know in the comments below or shoot me an email. My email address is below, thehangedmaninthemoon. If you want a little advice about meditation, shoot me an email. I'm sorry, thehangedmaninthemoon@gmail.com. It's in the description box. If you want advice about meditation, shoot me an email. If you want us reading from me, shoot me an email. We'll get you a reading. Tarot de Marseille, Tarot de Marseille adjacent, Italian decks, Rider-Waite Smith, Smith-Waite, Continental Tarot, whatever you want. Big, small, long, short, video, photo, and text. Anything is possible. And friends, so, yes, comment below, shoot me an email, hit the thumbs up button so YouTube knows that you enjoyed this or got something out of it, and it will show this video to more people. It helps the channel. And also subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the alarm bell so you get notifications of when I upload videos. And really, I would love to hear from you, friends. Comment below. And now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.